Dan Young with BCAM, here with Al Snyder, the chairman of Mr. Basketball. Just going to discuss a little bit today the 6 finalists for Mr. Basketball. First, we got Xavier Tillman. Tell me about Xavier.
He's the big man. You know, he's 6'10". He's going to Michigan State. And I'm actually going to go see him tomorrow against the number probably 2 or 3 man, which is Isaiah Livers of Kalamazoo Central. And those 2 guys meet up in a game tomorrow. I'm very anxious to see that one. And both of them have the style of play. They're going to get rebounds, they're going to score, they're going to block shots, and they're going to lead their team.
That's going to be a great matchup to see those guys head to head.
Yeah, it will
and before the voting, which starts next week.
That's right. That's why I decided to go.
Yeah. How about Greg Elliott from East English?
He really came on. I think he had a tremendous season, and he started pouring in the points. He's one of these guys that had a 40-point night or 2, you know, and he really picked up his name and moved up in our rankings. And they played a very tough schedule. I think East English playing in the PSL, and they beat Dakota by 15, and there's some other good
Getting
teams.
a recent offer from Tom Izzo.
Yes, that was big, and Marquette really wants him.
Sure.
So they're fighting over him.
Jamal Kane, the 6'7" athlete from Cornerstone.
Right. He kind of surprised me a little bit because I hadn't heard a whole lot about him, and I called up Mick McCabe and said, "What you got for Mr. Basketball?" And he said, "I'm ranking him number 2, and he might be number 1 before it's all over."
They say that in the long haul, he might be have the most upside, as you say.
So he's another tremendous player. I think the group this year is very talented, and it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches decide to vote because, you know, we give them the nominees. Now it's up to the coaches to vote, and they must be a member of BCAM, and they have 3 votes. They must vote for 3 of the players within 5 days, and I think that's a big part of the process because the first place guy gets 5 points, second place guy gets 3 points, and then 1 point. And a lot of times, some of those guys, everybody's listed so-and-so at number 3, and he only gets 1 point, you know. Mm-hmm. So they have to get some first place votes.
Amari Hardy from North Farmington. Last year was more of a distributor. This year, and a team that went to the state championship. And this year, wow.
Yeah.
Going to Oklahoma State. Talk about him a little bit.
Oklahoma State, that's a big-time program. And I think what he found is that he was playing his game, but the team was losing. And Mr. Basketball has got to do a couple things. One thing Mr. Basketball has got to do is make his team better. Make the C player into a B+ player. And then also, sometimes Mr. Basketball just has to put the thing on his back and carry the boys home and get the win.
Right. What's neat about Hardy is he made the rest of his guys better a year ago, and this year he's carrying them because he has to. And then lastly, Jason Whitens.
There you go. He's our first UP guy. And the last 2 years, I've come home from the state tournament and said, who was the best player? Was it Powers North Central and Jason Whitens? And that was been in my mind. And so when the nominees came out, his name came up, and I was all for it. And I think many people were. He's never lost a game in high school. He also led his team to the football championship in the 8-man. And what a player. He gets you. This is what basketball is about: passing, rebounding, teamwork.
Good stuff. Thanks again for joining us.